there can be no ego in power. That is weird. The weird thought came because people say that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. My thought about that is perhaps because the reason why people say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely is because we often associate the idea of power with being in charge, like Malaysian language says gila kuasa. So some people are addicted to the so-called power. And what happens is that then they started to use their power to feed their ego, to feed what is it that they like, to basically take care of themselves without caring about anybody else. That is the typical example of why power corrupts. But I was thinking about this today and I come to realize that that is not power. The things that corrupts are not power, but force. See, when somebody is in charge, so to speak, all of the things that they do to keep themselves in charge, what is that? The police force, the armed force, basically the forces, but they're not really, and they're in control. That's absolutely true. But are they truly in power? Because in order for us to really understand this, we need to understand first what is ego, and what is power. So when people say, okay, this guy egotistical, what they're really saying is that this guy is so defensive. This guy wouldn't even listen to me. This guy is so defensive. This guy do this. This guy is narcissist. This guy is sociopath. This guy is whatever. Basically, it's about the self. It's about this guy being very self-centered, right? But actually, that is not true. Ego has many, many levels to it. There are the kind of ego which is empowering, and then the kind of ego which is disempowering. There's the kind of ego which is abundant, and there's also the kind of ego which is scarce. So in David Hawkins' work, The Map of Consciousness, there are 17 levels of ego all in all. He calls it consciousness, I call it ego. And the levels start from shame, guilt, apathy, which is hopelessness, followed by grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, and so on and so forth. And towards the top end would be reason, followed by love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. And David Hawkins made a clear line. Now this guy is a clinical psychologist. He made a clear line. The bottom from pride and below, and from courage to the top. Hi Zainab. So from shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. That one, he put it there. There's a line that clearly separates the two between courage and pride. This is very curious. Because why is it that courage is above pride? Because pride is a state of ego, is a stage of the ego where the ego says, I have learned enough. I am good enough. I do not need, or rather than I am good enough, the ego says, I don't need to develop any further than this. Now that's a very curious thing. Why don't we need to develop any further than this? The reason why is because that so far effort is a transaction. This morning I talk about how love is not a transaction, but to people who are in scarcity, effort is a transaction. I need to do this. And in order for me to do this, I need to get this amount of results. If I don't get this amount of results, it's going to cost me. And if it costs me, I am not willing to do this. So it makes no sense. So if I don't get what I want, therefore I get angry. If I haven't yet done anything, then I'm constantly lusting with my desire for whatever it is that it has. And then there's also all the other kinds of things like fear, like grief, like apathy, like guilt, the blame. If I do something and I fail, I would start to blame because of pride. If I try to blame and I couldn't find anybody to blame, and if this happens on and on and on and on and on again, my pride would then turn into shame. My pride would turn into guilt. My pride would turn into grievances. That is the problem. So whenever we talk about someone, let's say a corrupt politician who's in charge, and this politician is using all of his power to boost his ego, to make him feel more, I don't know, recognized, more worthy, to give himself titles and riches, and take care of his people. Where is that truly coming from? Does that truly come from power? I question that. Because the only reason why we need to use materialistic things to validate ourselves is because we are insecure, am I not? If I need to use wealth to buy things for myself so that other people can recognize that I am rich, is that truly a sign of certainty? Is that truly a sign of confidence? Or is that a sign of insecurity? If I am abundant, what's it got to do with anybody? If I just want to enjoy life, and I use my riches to enjoy life, why do people need to know about it? People only need to know about it if I am insecure, isn't it? And that is the reason why when we say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, that is absolutely not true. What has just happened was that we give force. It's not even power, it's force. Force corrupts, not power. It's force that corrupts. When we force other people to do things that we want, we are making them miserable. When other people force us to do things that they want, we ourselves become miserable. And so when we, in the future, because of this situation, we would then have this whiplash reactive reaction where we want whatever it is that we think we don't have enough of. We would then chase and chase and chase and chase and chase. And then when we have those things, it's like, as a kid, if I don't get enough of my parents' love, as an adult, if I mentally associate materialistic wealth equals love, attention equals love, I will be non-stop chasing for attention. Likewise, in fitness, I see it all the time. If I don't have enough results, then when the day comes when I need to get results, that will be a whiplash reaction. I will be working so hard to chase after my health. But there will be a lot of disclaimer. There will be a lot of conditions to it. The conditions will be like, I must do a workout which I like. I must do a workout which gives me results. I must do a nutrition which is fast, and X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and more the conditions grow. And then in the end, the habits become unsustainable. Because why? Because I was forcing myself to do fitness. This does not work. So we cannot keep on doing this. We cannot keep on doing this. We cannot keep on doing things about forcing ourselves to do X so that we can get Z. This does not work long term. People keep on asking me, Felix, how do you do this Facebook Live every day for like 50 plus days, 60 days? How? Because I love this. When I say I love this, there is no results that I'm expecting. I'm not expecting a result when I do this Facebook Live. I'm not trying to convert anybody, or rather, I'm not attached to converting anybody into a client. But you know what's funny? People buy for some reason. People contact me, Felix, I'm so impressed. This Facebook Live is happening. It's so weird, right? When you're not attached to the results, results happen. When you're attached to the results, results don't happen. And then one day feels like 1 year or 1 month, right? 1 week feels like 1 year. Because when we are miserable, time seems to stretch to a standstill. Time seems to be very difficult. The passage of time is very slow. When we're having fun, then everything changes. So I would like you guys to learn how to have fun with life. I would like you guys to learn how to have fun with the process. Whatever the process it is that you're doing, whether it's your work, whether it's your hobby, there are certain areas which you like and certain areas which you don't like. I encourage you guys, stop chasing after what you like. Instead, learn how to appreciate all facets of things. All of it. So if you guys want to learn about that, come to my webinar on the 24th of November. I've been speaking about that a lot. Do sign up for it. I do comment. I think I did a post earlier. Do comment on that. I will send you the detailed information about how you can register for it. And with that being said, it is now time for my dinner. I shall go, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 6:45 a.m. as usual. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay true. I shall see you guys very soon.